Hi folks, and again welcome to the ICT Edexcel Unit 3. Now we left the last time at the number of climbs, and we noticed that we didn't have one cat 1 climb in there, and we do have our two cat 1 or a cat 2 climb, but we need them both to say yes for this box to change to climb. So we do need to get that one sorted, and that's going to require us to change a couple of the stages here. Specifically, I think stage 3 and 4 would be 4 and 5 would be the easiest ones to do. These ones here, so that on the climb calculation we do have a cat 1 climb at some point in there. So we do need to get that one sorted, and the cat 1 climb obviously is above 9%, so we do need to go a bit higher than we currently are, somewhere in here, to be able to get that and hit them. Also, our kilometers are nowhere near the 200 really, so we've got a bit more time if we need to add some extra checkpoints. So the first thing I'm going to do is get those sorted so that we do have in climb calculation a max climb higher than 9%. So we're going to get that one sorted now, okay? I'm going to pause it and it'll be sorted when it gets back. Okay, good. We have stage 4 and 5 sorted now, I think, in that they are still under the 200 limit, but I've got them to do this Manapo versus Eau Rouge climb. Now, in the current height data, and if we go into the sprint climb, you can see where the red one is there, in Z28, and that is Eau Rouge all the way to Manapo. So as long as I've included that somewhere in the stage builder, I've definitely got one cat 1 climb in. As you can see, it's put yes there. I filled out the first one just to make sure that the climb thing's sorted, so it is recognising the fact that this could be a climb. Put on climb, and now I've got my number of climbs as 2. So, is there 2 climbs? Equals if that one equals 2, then yes, otherwise no. Make sure you put the quote marks in the right place. Number of sprints, well, equals count if, open bracket, all of those to yes. There's 1 sprint, equals if that one equals 1, then that's a yes, I've got 1 sprint, otherwise no, I don't. Why does that come up? Oh, equals 1. Nope, let's just sort that one there. I do have 1 sprint in oh, I've clicked on the wrong cell, haven't I? Obviously, click on that, back to there. Is that 1? Yes, otherwise no. Lovely. So that's all set up. I've got that sheet completely sorted, got my sum bits there, and I've got those ones all with the correct formulas in. So this is actually working, and I do have a sheet that's got all of the right number of climbs, the right sprint data in there, and this pass. Now, obviously, in the exam, they are well within their rights to change the data that they give you in terms of the checkpoint and the height, and also in terms of the distances. So this stage builder, you can't just learn that off by heart. You would have to work out the paths, which is, why you're going to have the map next to you in the exam, and you're going to make sure that you've got the sprint climb data sorted there, and you work out where are the big changes in percentage terms, and as long as you've got those in the climb calculation, you'll see the bits that go blue for the climb cat 1s and the bits that go slightly green for the cat 2 climbs. So we've got that data in there now, and that is all working. That's our sheet to start with. There obviously are bits in the exam that we've talked about before that some people may have messed up on. Things like in page layout, you've got to make sure that you've got the view and grid, the grid lines and the headings ready for viewing, but also ready for printing. So if they ask you to print out with grid lines and headings, this is what it looks like. File print. That's the whole sheet, but it does have, you can see, the grid lines are on there when they're included, and also the headings for each one of the cells are there. Do make sure you include those, so you will lose marks if you don't. If it asks you to put headers and footers on as well, that's an insert, header and footer, and it will change it to the header and footer view. There you can type in your candidate number and your name and that sort of stuff, all the usual bits that I'm sure your teacher's gone through with you. Just make sure that you understand it. Go back to normal sheet view. If you need to select certain cells, like if they ask you to print between A and D, you'd select A and D there. You'd go page layout and you'd set that as your print area. And also maybe, I don't know, if it's a certain number of cells. So if they say from A1 all the way to D30, I'd select just those ones. There you go. I always do it backwards or wherever the picture isn't, so I don't grab that by accident. Set that as your print area, and then when you have a look at the printer, yeah, it's got the grid lines on, it's got the headings of each cell, and it also just includes A to D. Obviously, you'll have your header with your name and stuff in there as well. That's the start of the exam, I guess, is getting all of that data in, getting all those functions and formulas in. are obviously very, very important, and also to make sure that you do have the 1 sprint, the 2 climbs, or if that's changed within the exam, you've got to make sure that you've got the correct data and these say yes. Once you've got that in, you have a look at the exam paper and it'll ask you to do certain calculations maybe. There's a couple of bits that I'm going to move that over there. I think that if you read through the scenario, you could probably work out what the extra bits of the exam might be. Now, I'm not going to give those away. I really do want you to read through them as candidates, because I think it's really important that you know what you're looking for within this. These are obviously all the sheets that you've got within the practice exam, but there may be some other bits that you need to look at as well, and whether you need to do some calculations and extra bits. We had a look through in our lessons, didn't we, the different cells that are in here, and the fact there were some hidden ones, and we were wondering what those would be. But I do want you to make sure, one, that you can do this bit, but then two, have a look through the scenario, see what extra bits there are there, and the sort of calculations you're going to have to do. Activity 1 is, outline the scenario as usual, and activity 2, what assumptions you're going to make. That's been the key from previous exams, so I think we'll learn those again. Section C is going through this. Section D, in previous years, has been doing the report, where you put in the graph of the stuff that you need, and also write about what the solution that you've done within the model is. But that could change. That could be different this year. It was different in January. We had a bit of a strange one. We had to then change the model and do extra bits with it. You might have to play with the model as well, or evaluate it and say how good and bad it was. But we'll look at the different activity bits in another video. I want to make sure that you do understand the bits that you've done here. And if you're unsure, obviously, just have a look again at the formulas that I've used. Scroll back through the video, watch it again, and make sure you're doing it. If you need any help, obviously post on the YouTube channel, or if you're in my class, come and see me. Thanks very much.